JFD, just fair and direct.
Okay, hello and welcome everyone. Welcome to JFD Traders Tea Time with me, Darius Anucauskas. Today is the 22nd of September 2020. So yep, welcome everyone. Welcome to this Tuesday's afternoon session where we're going to have a very quick look at some of the instruments that I looked at this morning in my Traders Espresso. Some new ones, of course, and yep, we'll see how everything's kind of getting along. But as always, before we do that, let's quickly have a read through our risk disclaimer. So, the content we produce does not constitute investment advice or investment recommendation, should not be considered as such, and does not in any way constitute an invitation to acquire any financial instrument or product. As always, a few seconds for you to read the rest, and we can continue. Okay, so now then, also just before we jump into the charts, quick mentioning of our JFD YouTube channel, to which you can always subscribe to in order not to miss any of our upcoming videos, and of course our JFD Bank website, and specifically our JFD research page, which we also update on a daily basis. So yep, feel free to visit us here on jfdbank.com and click on the research tab right there on the top. So now then, so a quick update on what's happening here with the German DAX. So the index is trading today in the positive territory. However, it still is not where probably most of the bulls would like it to see it to be. So the index, yes, it did recover some of the losses made yesterday, but it still remains, for example, below one of these key support levels, which previously were seen as support levels. Now they could take the role of resistance, so one of which is this 12,754 territory marked by the low of the 4th of September. So in a way, you know, if it struggles to climb back above this area, then, well, I mean, the downside still is on the table. However, we would prefer to see a drop below this 100-day EMA shown as the green line in order to continue targeting lower areas. For now, we'll just probably just stand aside here and just continue observing the price action for now. But if one of these levels here gets broken, if we see a push back above this 12,754 territory, then we might consider a bit of a larger correction to the upside, because if it still travels higher and, let's say, for example, struggles to get back above this lower side of the rising wedge, which at the same time is the upside support line taken from the low of the 15th of June, and if it also struggles to get back above this 21-day EMA, then, well, I mean, it's not looking good here for the bulls. But again, from the very short-term perspective, if it climbs back above this 12,754 territory, then we could consider a bit of a larger correction. For now, it's not there, and in a way, still the downside scenario could be on the table, especially if it drops below this 100-day EMA. Now jumping into NASDAQ 100, and here the index yesterday closed in the positive territory, unlike its kind of counterparts, the other US counterparts. So the index was sliding lower, but it then managed to claw back some of the losses here, and but still was very close to kind of closing in the red. But nevertheless, still this idea here that I talked about previously is working out nicely. So after we got a rejection near twice near this 21-day EMA, the index drifted lower, and it kind of came closer to testing this 100-day EMA, which I talked about previously. And for now, this is the target that I'm aiming for. If we look at the cash index and where the index is currently sitting at, and we can see that the price is currently above the 11,000 mark, so it's back around 11,080-90 territory. So in other words, it's somewhere around here now. what we're going to do here is, as you can see, I've adjusted one of the levels here, and what we can do here is we're going to keep an eye on this little target here near the 11,100, and let's round it up towards the 50. So 11,150 territory. A nice good pop above it may open the door towards some higher levels, and initially, of course, we'll aim for this 11,495 zone marked by the high of the 15th of September, or it could go further north. But again, for now, guys, let's be very careful. Let's keep an eye on this 11,150 territory. If we get a break above that, then all eyes are on the 21-day EMA again to see if actually if it could provide resistance once again. So basically, let me just adjust this arrow very quickly. So something like this could be possible, guys. Like I said, we will keep an eye on the 21-day EMA, because if it's going to do the same trick for the third time, then, well, I mean, it's not looking good here for the bulls. So however, if the index starts climbing above it, above the 21-day EMA, and pushes above the 11,500 territory, we'll keep an eye on that one. Then yes, there is a possibility to see this one accelerating back to these highs that we saw here in the beginning of September. But for now, let's keep it as it is. Let's remain careful. Also, something that you could keep an eye on here, just for the sake of it, but you can keep an eye on this downside resistance line right here. Well, to be honest, like I said, because we're going to be the price is already on the cash index is already trading near this downside line, so that's why we're not going to really focus on it too much, because we might just overcomplicate things here. So again, for now, keep your eyes on the 21-day EMA, because as you can see, the last two times it acted as a very nice area of resistance. Let's see if it can do the same trick again. Gold. So gold is recovering. Initially dropped below this 1901 territory, but as you can see, it's recovering somewhat. So the bulls are keeping this one slightly in the positive territory today. Let's see if they can keep it there. But if it suddenly starts dropping back below this 1901 territory again, well, I mean, we could see further declines, maybe even a move towards the yesterday's low, which was roughly around the 1882 territory, or it could drive toward the lowest point of August near the 1863 mark. But in that case, we need that another confirmation drop below this 1901 zone. For now, we're seeing a bit of a recovery here. Even if, let's say, in the next couple of days, gold decides to recover back up here and moves higher, if it struggles to overcome these two downside lines here, although both are a little bit on the tentative side, if it struggles to overcome these two, then, well, I mean, another round of selling here could be possible. So keep your eyes on those. Now, looking at the dollar index, and this morning I talked about this one, and I was saying that keep your eyes on this 93.81 zone, which, as you can see, got tested today again. Even DXY managed to overshoot it a little bit just by a fraction here, but as you can see, the bears kind of pushed this one back down. Probably, well, not probably. That's why you're seeing gold here recovering as well. So the dollar is kind of balancing just fractionally in the green. So let's see if the bulls can actually keep it here. As I've mentioned to you guys previously, that in order to aim for some higher levels here, we need that nice, good, strong break above this 93.81 zone in order to consider a bit of a larger correction to the upside. Because don't forget that overall we're still trading below this downside line taken from the high of the 23rd of March. Jumping into Ripple very quickly here, I talked about this one, and basically here you can see that the crypto is trading now today below this 0.2357 zone. This week, well, yesterday I talked about this one, and I was telling you guys that if we get a nice good drop below it, and the crypto then continues to trade below this level, below this 0.2357, which also coincides with the 200-day EMA, then, well, we could see a further correction here to the downside towards this upside support line taken from the low of the 13th of March. So the scenario, the kind of the idea still remains the same. So let's see if all this can work out. For now, like I said, I am targeting this upside support line. Jumping into AUDUSD, so the pair did drift below this area right here, below the 0.7192 territory, the one that I was talking about this morning. But the bulls were quick to kind of push the rate back above it and well back above this level. So of course the weakness in the current weakness in the dollar is helping this pair to get back on track here. However, let's see if actually that can stay, because well, I mean, at the moment, as you can see on one side, yes, it is climbing back above this area. On the other hand, it's still below the 21-day EMA. So let's see if the bears can actually take the upper hand here and drive this one back down. But to get a little bit more excited with the downside scenario here, again, another drop below this 0.7192 territory would be needed. And then, yes, we could aim for these slightly lower levels. USDCHF, so showing good performance here. As you can see, it is breaking this. Well, actually, yesterday it already broke this downside resistance line taken from the high of the 28th of May. Now, last week, I believe it was last week when I was covering this one, I was saying that if this downside line does continue to provide resistance, then yep, another round of selling here could be possible. But as you can see, we had a nice break here, so in a way everything's kind of leading more towards the upside. However, as I said, be very careful, and as I've mentioned to you guys previously on this one, yes, a break of this downside line could be the first step towards examining higher levels, but to get just a little bit more comfortable with that idea, just wait for a push above the 0.9198 territory, or actually we can round it up towards the 0.92 zone. Wait for a push above that and then aim for some higher levels. Until then, probably it's better to remain a little bit on the neutral side and wait for that confirmation break. Now, in terms of the downside, here we would first probably need to see this one drifting back down below this downside line, and maybe in addition to that, maybe dropping below the 0.9073 territory right here, after a break of which we could consider maybe some slightly lower areas here. But for now, it seems that the downside the downside idea is slightly off the table for now. But again, we cannot really get too much comfortable with that idea, because we need that confirmation break above the 0.92 territory. Also, quick update here on GBPNZD. Recently I've covered this one in one of my videos, and basically I was saying that keep your eyes on this downside resistance line taken from the high of the 21st of August, and yep, you can see that for now this area seems to be acting as a nice resistance. So for now everything's kind of working here in favor of the bears, but of course let's see if it can continue doing that. Of course, if you're more on the cautious side, what you could do is of course, yes, the fact that we are seeing now a rejection near this downside line is great for the bears, but if you're more on the cautious side, probably you can wait for a drop below the 0.91 territory, sorry, 1.91 territory, and then aim for some lower levels, because again, this area here could be a tricky one. We could see this one right now drifting lower, but then maybe tomorrow it will reverse and push higher. But in order to consider the upside, as I mentioned before, not only that we would like to see a break of this downside line, but also a push above the high of the 17th of September here near the 1.9385 zone. So keep your eyes on that one. And also just a quick update here on the euro against the Turkish lira. This morning I talked about this one, and I was saying that keep your eyes on that psychological 9 zone, which we managed to reach and test perfectly today. So as you can see, the pair did travel towards that area, found resistance around there, and drifted back down. So it wasn't a huge correction, of course, to the downside, but nevertheless the rate is currently trading below that psychological 9 zone. So let's see if that psychological 9 zone will continue to provide resistance. If it does, then well, I mean, we could see a nice reversal here back to the downside. However, preferably maybe a drop below this area, somewhere below this level here around the 8.8226. could do the trick for more sellers, because at the same time the rate would be placed below the 21-day EMA. But of course, I'll reevaluate this one again if we see a nice, good, strong, good reversal to the downside here. For now, probably the bears should be very careful, because at the moment even the short-term trend is still to the upside, so be very careful with those shorts. And finally, EURUSD. So this pair is flirting still with this 1.1753 territory that I talked about this morning. So yes, we did get a break lower, the same as we did yesterday, but as you can see, the bulls are kind of pushing this one back up here. So at the moment, we're just observing this one here, although yes, there is a chance for this one to move lower. However, given that the bulls are really fighting it hard, trying to fight hard here near this area and trying to keep the rate above this area, that kind of raises a bit of concerns here for the downside. So of course, like I said, let's not rush into anything yet. First, let's keep an eye on this daily candle. If it remains below this area today, then yep, that's wonderful. We could well, wonderful for the bears, and we could see this one drifting lower later on. So guys, I really hope you found it useful. Thank you very much for watching and listening. If you want to catch my video tomorrow morning, as always, my Trader's Espresso, 6 o'clock GMT time. But for now, guys, I hope you have a wonderful evening. Stay safe, and I'll see you later. Thank you very much, and bye-bye.